Hey,
What's up?
what's going on?
Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, played that Nick Marsh, man. He's I've seen Dante Moore and that kid that's killing it for uh Minnesota at running back. We beat Walnut Western. Um, this fucking Nick Marsh is a dude. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, he was enough. Well, he was committed to Michigan State. Well, who knows if he keeps that? And then I heard one of the dads, he said, yeah, he said Nick Marsh got on a plane with what's his name? Underwood, the quarterback,
Yep.
to go to Colorado Saturday morning. They were going out there to see Prime.
Sure. Of course they are. Not surprised. Everybody's going out there to see Prime.
I mean, I guess Prime might not need to have as much money in NIL.
I think they're on a plan, like a credit card, basically. That athletic department is like, just get them to come and we'll figure out how to pay for it later. You know.
Well, I think they got Dion working too. Dion's like on every third commercial on during football games.
Right. But I don't think they're making that money unless he's funding the athletic department himself. So, yeah. Looks like Jeff is trying to live his best life, or just feeling entitled. But I have an opinion about Jeff that I won't share tonight. But anyway, let's hop into it. We're going to talk. You got your grades and your MVPs, and we're really going to go heavy on Notre Dame. I got a lot of stats and info and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be the focus, right? Breeze through this.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Let's get our guy Tyvis in here. Start this thing right. Tyvis, where you at? Oh, no, Tyvis, I closed you. Hold on, Tyvis. I am coming to you. Oh. Patience. Go.
Hi, my name is Tyvis Powell, former Ohio State Buckeye and national champion DB. Welcome to the Buckeye Cast. These guys was born and bred in the Buckeye State, and they like to talk Buckeye football and drink bourbon. Subscribe to the show. Now pour up a drink and pull up a stool. Here's your host, Joe Warwick. Get him, Joe.
Thank you, Tyvis. We appreciate you, as always. All right. So I got Shawn here tonight. Jeff is taking the night off. I'm sure he deserves it. So let's talk some Buckeye football. Please hit subscribe. The like button would be much appreciated. And we'll take your calls tonight. As always, we're taking your calls. Show me your big fat calls. Phone number is 305-224-1968. All this is scrolling above my head as we speak. The ID number is 832-6987-4780. And then the passcode is 986016. Hey, if you want to support the show, you could do so by going to thebuckeyecast.com, where everything is on sale, 25% off. you can get yourself one of these fancy shirts that I am wearing right now. The Built Ohio, I gotta tilt my camera down. Microphone's in the way. Built Ohio Tough shirt, which is very popular with Ford truck owners. Adjust the camera. And a little bit more. There you go. Okay. So yeah, get yourself a shirt, support the show, 25% off. And of course, we are doing our t-shirt giveaway for the score predictions. We have a winner, Henry, 73 points this week. You believe that? Nobody saw that coming.
No.
No, not at all. We had a lot of guys. We had 3 guys at 62. We had a 68. Our winner is Stephen Cherry, the Mad Dog.
Oh.
He was at 72. He had the Buckeyes 48-24. So expecting an explosion out of WKU, but only to be let down by them, and the Buckeyes made up the difference. So Stephen Cherry, 72 points. You are the winner. Hit me in the comments, and I need to know shirt size, the name of the shirt, the color, and where to send it. That's it. Or if you have an email address on your YouTube account, I will email you. That it's that simple. PC, your shirt is on the way. Ray, your shirt is going to be there on Monday, tomorrow. So enjoy. Henry, any bourbon talk you want to cover before we get rolling into topics?
Nah, really nothing new on my end on the bourbon front. What have you been into?
I just have a shot of Weller Special Reserve here. I'm just kind of sipping on. I picked up a bottle of Walking Stick the other day at the liquor store. It's always a good go-to for $30. That and Woodford, those are the ones when I can't find Buffalo or Weller, which are getting more and more hard to find. Just go with, a good little, what do they call that? Not necessarily top shelf, but maybe the second shelf down. Right at eye level. So,
Gotcha.
Let's see. Don't forget, Tuesday, we're going to have Ryan Day's press conference. But Monday, before Tuesday, we'll be doing the rush hour at 4:30. Got some recruiting updates. We had a surprise visitor of Chance Robinson, the current Miami commit, wide receiver for the 2024 class, was on campus yesterday for this game. So let's hop right into it. And Shawn, what do you have for your grades for this Buckeye team versus WKRP in Cincinnati?
We mean the offensive grade?
Let's go offense first, yeah.
All right, I'll give the offense a solid B.
Okay.
I obviously liked McCord had his best game. Trey looked great. Marv and Puka do what they did. We got to see some other things, but just a little bit too slow out of the gates for me on that McCord strip sack fumble. It's like you had all day, just better decision making right there.
Yeah.
Just a couple things, but certainly trending in the right direction. I don't think I gave him a B last week, but yeah, I'd say a B and trending in the right direction.
Okay. I'm going to go A- on the offense because it was so balanced. And that was one of my focuses in my keys to a victory on Friday's show. I wanted to see balance. And by balance, I mean 300 plus through the air and 200 on the ground. And we got exactly that almost. We got 358 and 204. So the A minus comes in where we have these continuous penalties on the O-line. I think Josh Simmons, left tackle, is going to be one of those DeJuan Jones kind of scenarios where you can pencil him in for one penalty every game. You know, he came in, he had 17 penalties last year at San Diego State in 13 games, and he's picked up right where he left off there.
What are you gonna do? Yeah, I just thought, you know, it was like 8 minutes left in the second quarter, and it was still 14-10. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah, this is my favorite thing to do, right? Is the drive chart. Buckeyes go touchdown, fumble. Otherwise, they probably would have scored touchdown on that second drive. So touchdown, fumble, touchdown, 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 punt. That is into the third quarter. And then touchdown, INT, ball game. But we did get 12 possessions. So that's a step up. Helps that the other team is whipping it around. 7 scoring drives. I was hoping for like 9 out of 10 going into this week, so not even close to that. Average time of possession was only 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So Ryan Day is outwitting the new clock rules. 3 drives of over 70 yards. Legit. 1 drive was just 1 play. So, yeah. Then a 12 play, you got an 8 play in there. So, yeah, I'm feeling really good about the offense. We got the running game on track. We should probably get into our defensive grades and then our MVPs. I do have an off the board MVP award I want to hand out tonight. But so your grade on the defense.
Defense, I'll give the defense an B+. 10, not bad. This, you know, looking at these Hilltoppers put up some serious numbers. You know, they flashed those things on the board, and you know, even though they're not the same caliber as Ohio State, you know, these guys can do things, and that Corley that they got, he's a serious player. He played a big time program.
Oh yeah, he's going to play in the NFL. For
sure. Yeah, he's big time. So I thought the defense did a nice job of holding them in check. Again, I hated the early scores, but then righted the ship, and then that was that. And we did give up the most yards, I think, to anybody that we played so far this year. I believe that is the case.
I believe so too.
B+. Also, I don't know, to my blind eye, I gotta say the sacks really aren't there either. Let me go look at that numbers. How many sacks we have? 2?
2, yeah.
2 sacks on a team that throw it around. 37 attempts, 2 sacks. I feel like we need to be better than that against the Hilltoppers.
Okay. I got
40
on this week's grades on the defense, which is coming out Tuesday. The front 4, especially JT and Jack, led the team in pressures. And I'm talking 8 and 7, I think, Jack and JT. So I know they didn't get home and necessarily get sacks, but then the ball was coming out in 2.2 seconds. And that is, I still have that tab open, I believe. I'm a man of many tabs. Are you a big, like, lots of tabs guy in your browser?
I got my machine gets bogged down, all the tabs I got open.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's no warning for like, oh, you got too many tabs. They never warn you. Like, this is probably a bad idea or something. So I'm gonna keep doing it. So anyway, he was 41st in the country. Austin Reed, the quarterback for WKU, at 2.2 seconds. Kyle was down around 2.39. This is just for this week. So you can see where these teams are working to get the ball out quickly, you know. And he's the only one with substantial snaps. I mean, you got other guys at 209, 208 for like Austin P and Dartmouth. But Carson Beck for Georgia was at a 2.14. So just wanted to put that out there because actually my MVP, I'm giving the defense an A because they basically took the first series or two to see what Western Kentucky wanted to do on offense and how they lined up and everything. And they're like, okay, show us what you got. And then they just shut them down after that touchdown. And that touchdown was bullshit. There was a holding on Steel Chambers there.
Big
He was,
time.
yeah, right on his shoulder pad. Pretty obvious. Again, Big Ten refs doing what they do and not call penalties, but or call penalties that don't matter. I wonder what touchdown they're going to put back on the board for us this week, or apologize to Ryan Day for what penalty this
Right.
week. You know, it's a recurring theme here. But anyways, I'm going A for the defense because they locked down Reed, and that Reed guy is like fucking 23 years old, man. This guy has played a lot of football. I don't know how he has eligibility still. Not my business, but anyways. So leading right into that, because I actually went after Jack Sawyer last week pretty hard on the film session. I was talking about his get off being so slow, and it was very obvious when you play it in half speed. But anyway, Jack is my MVP on defense, and mainly because he led the team in pressures. He had 8, a couple hits on the quarterback, and at 2.2 seconds, you don't have a lot of time. So I am going to give Jack my defensive MVP. Henry, what do you have on defense before we flip over to offense?
I'm really torn between a few different guys, but I got to go with. I'm going to go with Denzel Burke. I like what he's doing out there. You know, I feel like he's breaking on that ball quick. He had a tackle for loss, two pass breakups. I think this was a great game for him to get tested going into next week. So I don't know MVP, but I thought he did a nice job. And it kind of also wanted to give some props to Josh Proctor. You know, this guy, we didn't even think he'd be one of the starters back there, and he's having himself a nice little year so far.
Yeah, kind of a pleasant surprise, right?
For sure.
On the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, I did not think he would start over Jihad Carter. But especially at the free safety where you're the last line defense. Now that hasn't really been tested. He's shown up in the pass coverage, but nobody's gotten out of the gate, you know, and looking to take one distance where he's had to make a decision and come up and make that, you know, a life-saving tackle, you know, like a Jordan Fuller used to, you know. So hopefully he can handle that. But yeah, I like Proctor. And Burke is on his way to being a first-round draft pick right now, man. From week 1, that dude is locking people down.
He is. He's, you know, okay, we've kind of seen some dudes now, but yeah, he's looking good. And so's Hancock coming in. Hancock's looking solid most of the time. I think he got beat once or something, but
Yeah.
Hancock looks solid, and Igbinosun, whatever it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like where our secondary is at.
They're finally playing physical, these corners, right? Especially Hancock is the one that forced that fumble, you know, put his head in there. Igbinosun's in there. He's always physical, you know, because he's
Yeah.
bigger than everybody. And then Burke is just going to get in there and break up a pass. These guys are finally playing physical ball.
Burke's walking around with all that swagger. He's got that,
Yeah.
that you need to be a shutdown corner.
Yeah.
He believes in himself right now. And it's huge.
Right. So I do have, all right, let's give our offensive MVPs. I'm going Trey. It was good to see Trey get in the end zone, get some serious yards. You got what, 13 carries, I believe it was. Yeah, 13 for 88, 2 touchdowns. That's the Trey of old we've been waiting to see again. He even had that big 27-yarder on the little swing pass. Huge pickup. So I'm going Trey on offense. Who do you have on offense there?
If I'm gonna go MVP, I'll go with Marv. Broke the game open, as he's prone to do. But it was nice to see some Carnell Tate in there. Emeka Buka always just getting it done every time, all the time. I was talking with my sons, like, the other thing I'm like, and I'm both these dudes, but it's like anytime they mention Emeka Buka's name, they also mention Marv's name. It's like, but anytime they mention Marv's name, they mention Marv's dad's name.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
Let
Emeka is
everybody
kind of
just be themselves.
Right. Emeka is definitely the unsung hero.
And he blocks and he does it all.
Yeah.
And didn't he get called for a bullshit hold?
Yeah. He did. Just
he
like
dominated his guy.
Right. Just like Chip did last week. Remember that?
Yeah.
Which the Big Ten said, oh, that was a mistake. Anyway, I do have a Hustler Award. And so my guy is going to be receiving a copy of a Hustler magazine as his reward. Carnell Tate, this guy, I don't know what I can say about a true freshman. There aren't too many on the field right now, but the fumble recovery when Cade Stover got stripped as he's rumbling down the sideline, got to cover it up, big man. He gets stripped from behind by the linebacker, and Carnell Tate swoops in, recovers it to maintain the first down and continue the drive. Huge play. Plus, he gets a beautiful touchdown reception there from Devin Brown later in the game. He gets my Hustler Award. I don't know. Do they still make Hustler magazine, Shawn?
I don't know. Is that Larry Schlent?
Oh, he's got to be dead, right? Or at least frozen in time.
Probably playing blackjack out at Caesars or something.
Yeah, there you go. In a wheelchair.
Playing a bubble at this point.
Bubble boy. Yeah. So anyways, Carnell Tate, be on the lookout. As soon as I get your mailing address, I'll be sending you an old Hustler magazine from the 1970s.
Used?
It's been viewed. It's been highlighted and underlined. Anyway, so I really would love to know, how do you feel about this team through 3 weeks right now, Shawn?
I feel good, but concerned. Cautiously optimistic.
How you
we
feeling?
Keep getting better. So, and we've got all these dudes, and I'm really thinking that our defense is going to be tough to do a lot against for anybody. So I feel good, not great yet.
Good, not great. Okay. So if you're looking at your 9-3 prediction from a couple of weeks ago, how are you feeling? 10-2 or 8-4?
Yeah, it's definitely trending up to the 10-2. Yeah,
Right.
I would say for sure. Because the things are getting better. Again, we haven't played the top tiers of guys yet. This week's gonna tell us. And next week, depending on how we look, and you can say, is it going up to 11-1 or back down to 9-3? But
Yeah.
this week's huge. This week is on the road. Who are you, Kyle McCord? This is a hostile environment. This is big time football here. And Notre Dame is better than I wish they were.
Yeah. Better than expected, right?
Yes. And
Very
Sam
much.
Hart. This is Portal, man, saving teams' asses.
Exactly. This, again, another well-seasoned quarterback, and I don't mean by the amount of salt he has on him. I'm talking, he's fucking 24 years old. Why are we playing against NFL quarterbacks? NFL-aged quarterbacks. I don't get this. It has to stop soon. Anyways, I feel
They're
really
getting
good
their
about
big
this.
contracts right now. This kid,
They should be,
that's
yeah.
rookie contracts up. These guys are getting
Yeah,
the
they're
big
on
money.
they're on deal too. I'm feeling really, really good about this team. Everything is starting to come together. Ryan Day has orchestrated this first 3 weeks perfectly, just like an NFL preseason. He utilized the first 2 weeks to try shit out on offense and defense. And they worked on what they needed to in this past week. This past week of practice before the WKU game was one of their hardest. And I think we saw leaps and bounds differences from week 1 to week 3 across the board. So I think this team is definitely trending up big time. They've fixed most of the issues. There are some lingering minor things, I would call it, like the offensive penalties. I mean, it's only a few per game, so it's not like killers. Like we used to be like 8, 9, 10 penalties a game under Urban Meyer. People forget that, but because he's all about the aggression shit. So I feel really good that this is going to be a tough game. Now it's first test, but I think Ryan Day has orchestrated the beginning of this season properly and used the first 3 weeks to really sharpen this team and focus on what they are, realizing what they are as a team, offensively and defensively. And I feel really, really strong about this team going in this Notre Dame game. So let's take a quick pause there so everybody can catch their breath, namely me. Do some woosah. Shawn, you want to do some downward dog?
Nah,
No? Okay.
I did
All right.
yard work today. I'm good.
Cool. Yeah, I got a nagging knee pain that just started yesterday. I can't fucking even walk outside. Anyway, okay. I think we covered anything else on Western Kentucky game that we really need to cover. One thing I'll jump in on myself. Jermaine Matthews, the true freshman, getting the pick 6. How special was that?
Yeah, that's sweet.
That was fucking awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
And there we go. Let's go Notre Dame. Let's go hard in on the Irish. 7:30 NBC. The Buckeyes are getting screwed over by the cock. NBC, also known as Notre Dame, coming in here at 4-0. They were 9-4 last year under Marcus Freeman, former Buckeye, as we know. So these guys have some decent returning production. Overall, they're 44th in the country in returning production, 68%. 65% on offense, 72 on defense. Dug into some of their PFF rankings and things like that, and their Phil Steele has his position rankings before the season started. So the offense has 6 starters coming back. Phil has them ranked quarterback ranked number 19. That's with Sam Hart, obviously. Running back number 10, wide receiver 57, but the O-line is at a 15. This is in the country. This is the position rankings throughout the country. So this is going to be one of the better O-lines we're ever going to face. Maybe until we see Michigan. I don't know about Penn State. Theirs looked kind of wonky last week. So running backs, O-line, nothing new here, right? But the quarterback, Sam Hart, leads the country in touchdown passes with 13. His completion percentage of 71% is tops. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards. He's only been sacked 4 times. They played 4 games, though. Keep that in mind. They had the week 0 game. Was that over there in Ireland?
I think so.
Did you get any eyes on that?
I did not.
Me neither. I'm sure it was a weird time. It's a weird time for all of us. Anyway, so here's some stats I'll throw at you. Passing yards per game. Notre Dame's putting up 293.7. That's 26 in the country. What else here? Yards per completion, 16.9. That's 7th in the country. Seconds per play, so the amount of time that runs off the clock in between plays. They're 88th, so these guys are going to milk it. 27.4 seconds per play. So that's exactly the recipe we've been facing, from these teams that have come in until Western Kentucky. They were all about the plays. Give us all the plays. So that's interesting that they're going to try and take time off the clock, but still move the ball successfully. These guys put up 492.7 yards per game on offense. That's 11th in the country. And then yards per play is 7.9. That's 6th in the country.
And what's their points per game?
Did I cover that? Did I miss that one? Did I not do points per game? I must not have. Points per game, I can tell you that. Offense, points per game. They are putting up 42.7, 9th in the country. Buckeyes are 43. But you might ask yourself, who have they played? Well, I have that. They played a Navy, a Tennessee State, an NC State, and a directional Michigan college. So they go 42-3 versus Navy, 56-3 against Tennessee State, 45-24 to NC State. But I will say that was a ball game going into the 4th quarter. They put up,
but NC State's at least a legitimate, size.
It's Power 5. Yeah, it's Power 5.
I mean, I would say it's better than Indiana.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Not much, though.
Right. But Notre Dame put up 21 points to NC State's 7 in that 4th quarter to kind of win going away. Central Michigan, kind of a ho-hum game there as well. Central Michigan never really was in it. At halftime, it was 21-14, but then Notre Dame scored 20 points in the second half, held Central Michigan to 3. But point being that Notre Dame really hasn't played a, valid defense is how I would say it. If you're talking about their offense right now, they've got these receivers You got Jaden Thomas, Holden Stays, I believe he's a tight end. And then Great House. Nice, Great House, Jaden. Great House. And then Chris Tyree is the converted running back. You got Audric Estime. Is it Esteem or Estime? I don't know. I'm going to go with Esteem. He's held in high esteem. He took the running back job last year, led the team with 920 yards rushing. Then you got a redshirt freshman, Jadarian Price. They got the transfer from Penn State, Devin Ford. We remember him. Then they got a true freshman, Jeremiah Love, and another redshirt freshman, Jabran Payne. So Chris Tyree, who ran for 400 plus yards last year, moves to wide receiver because they're so stacked back there. But I will say, this team has pass protection issues on this this O-line and running back group. Sorry, just was double checking my numbers here. So especially the running backs, which is somewhat to be expected, right? I mean, running backs are not O-line. You can't expect.
I don't know, only 4 sacks. That doesn't sound terrible.
No, I'm talking like pass grades and stuff like that. Like the PFF grades on pass blocking. Esteem has a 46 on the year. 60 is your average baseline. So he's below average. Again, Rocco Spindler, the guard, starting guard, he has a 46.6 in pass blocking. That's not good for a guard. Blake Fisher, starting tackle, he's at a 63.5. So those seem to be weak spots from my point of view. And then you got the other guard, Pat Coogan. He's okay. He's graded out at a 72 in pass blocking. And then Joe Alt, their best tackle, is graded out at an 88.7. You know, so, and the center is at an 82. And these guys obviously run the ball well. You know,
yeah, this Estime, I'll learn how they say it when we play him, but now he's solid as shit, man. He's going to be the problem. We cannot let that guy start dictating, and then, you know, then Sam Hart's going to open it up for him. Got to control him, put all the pressure on that Sam Hart, and let our pass rush and secondary take over.
Yeah, they're rushing for about 200 yards a game. 22nd in the country as an offense.
I bet their coach likes that.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah. Third down conversions. Now, this stat I dug up really stood out to me because they are bad at third down conversions. They average 5 a game. That's 79th in the country. 5 conversions.
Who does?
So Notre Dame.
Just 5 conversions a week?
On average. Yeah.
Out of how many tries? If they're never getting to third down, then that ain't that bad of a deal. And doesn't affect the arc because they're blowing everyone out. We've been terrible on third down. That's why we always have to go for it on fourth down.
Oh yeah, we're real bad.
Yeah, that needs cleaned up a bit.
How many third down attempts do we have per game here? Oh yeah. That's why. We both Ohio State and Notre Dame only have 11 third downs per game. So, All right, let's talk defense here. Defense has 8 starters coming back. Phil Steele has their D-line ranked 18th in the country. Linebackers are 7th in the country. DBs at 9th. Usually you don't hear good DBs coming out of South Bend, do you?
I think you said that one safety, right? Where did he go?
Safety?
Yeah, didn't they have a safety that came out of there just last year or the year before?
To the NFL or something?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Let's go D-line. Let's talk Notre Dame D-line here while I regroup in my throat.
What she said.
Ew. Let's go run defense from the D-line. Javante John Baptiste, he is highly rated against the run, 79.8. Howard Cross III is an 85.
His name rings a bell.
Yeah, you might have heard of him. JJB. Howard Cross III is an 85.2. Joshua Burnham. He doesn't have a lot of snaps. Maris Liu. See, my Polynesian is worn off. It's worn off my tongue. Marist Liufau is a 75.4. And then you got, who would have got here? Riley Mills. He's an interior guy at 72.3. So you got some highly rated dudes against the run here. And then their pressures, Maris Liufau has 8 pressures on the season, 3 hits, 5 hurries, no sacks. Riley Mills has 7 total pressures and a sack, 2 hits, 4 hurries. Javante John Baptiste has 7 pressures as well, just 2 hits, 5 hurries. And they got another edge rusher, Jordan Botello. He has 6 pressures, 1 sack, 3 hits, and a couple hurries. Has a batted down pass as well. So they've got a stout D line here that's getting some pressure. They're not getting home a lot, similar to the Buckeye problems on their D line. You just got a handful of guys with single sacks, you know. Let's see, tackling. Jack Sparrow, their linebacker, seems to be their leading tackler. Oh, just lost it.
I would think their linebacking core will be in order.
Right. Jack Kaiser, 20 tackles, 8 assists and a miss. Now, see, I highlighted this guy, Xavier Watts, safety. Played a lot of ball. He has 14 tackles, but 5 misses. 5 missed tackles. Another guy here is a corner, Tom Harper. Wait a second. He can't be playing football. He's older than us, right?
One of them is.
Anyway, different Harper, different Tom Harper. Thomas Harper has 12 tackles, 3 misses. It's not great. The D lineman or the linebacker I mentioned, Liu Fau, has 3 misses, 11 tackles. So there are some openings there from what I'm seeing, looking at these PFF rankings. We could talk some coverage. We could talk, let's talk targets. Tom Harper, again, being targeted the most. 12 targets, allowed 7 receptions for 72 yards, has 1 pass breakup. Benjamin Morrison, the other corner, 11 targets, 4 receptions. Cam Hart, a corner, has 11 targets, 3 receptions. Now these guys have, Morrison's the only one that's allowed a touchdown in this group. Then you get into the safeties like Xavier Watts. He's allowed a touchdown. Or no, I'm sorry, he hasn't allowed a touchdown. He has a PBU, 9 targets, 5 catches he's allowed though. So you got some areas in the secondary, I think, where you can exploit some guys. You just kind of have to be picky and choosy, you know.
Certainly.
They don't call him the best color guy in the business for nothing, folks.
Sorry, I'm just trying to think what to add there. I mean, it's pretty in depth. I imagine that defense is going to be solid. Tell this shit. I didn't know that about the missed tackles. I always wonder when you talk about missed tackles and or guys that got beat, how the hell do they even measure that? Where's like the cutoff? I feel like that's a lot in the eye of, was that an error or not an error? You know, hey, he gave him a hit, but was it? So I mean, some things are obvious to the eye, right? But then, like, where do you draw the line?
Right. I understand. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of just looking at it from a black and white point of view. You know, it's on the stat sheet.
And I'm sure from a 10,000-foot view and all the numbers, it's probably pretty damn accurate. I just wonder what goes into it.
These penalties are interesting to me on the defense. They've got some penalties here, which I'm kind of surprised with a Marcus Freeman team that is defensive focused, supposed to be pretty fundamental, you know. But they've got 2 of their interior guys have 2 penalties each. Riley Mills, Howard Cross III, they both have 2 penalties. And then the corner, Thomas Harper, has 2 penalties. And then safety, Antonio Carter, he has 2 penalties as well. And then you got a handful of guys with 1. Most of these are in the secondary corners and stuff. So interesting to me that they've been penalized so much. I got 13 penalties on defense here over 4 games. Especially
when one of your games was Navy. How's the secondary get penalized?
Yeah, you should not even be attending the game. Exactly. So points per game, they give up 14.7. That's 22nd in the country. Red zone scores per game, they give up 2 per game. That's 30th in the country. Now, this one I wanted to highlight, rushing yards per game. They allow 113.7. That's 43rd in the country. So it could be a spot to exploit there for the Buckeyes, rushing the ball. Passing yards per game, they're at 146.7. So that's 13th in the country. We'll see what the Buckeyes can do there. Excuse me. Sacks. They don't get a lot of sacks. 77th in the country at 1.7 sacks per game. Same with takeaways. Takeaways are not their bag, baby. They get 1 per game. That's 70th in the country. And again, on the penalties, they commit 6.3 penalties per game. That's a lot. That's 78th in the country. So this defense has some holes I think the Buckeyes can exploit. I think you could say maybe Kyle McCord will have some time back there without getting pressured.
I don't say that with an abundance of confidence. I think Freeman is going to bring a lot of different looks to a young quarterback, kind of just getting under his feet on the road, hostile environment.
Right.
And to me, the one thing is it's that O-line. If that O-line can step the up, then
Yeah.
I think it will be real nice.
Definitely. Let's go check on the chat, see who's around here. I did announce the winner, right? That was Stephen Cherry.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. Billy says, "Evening, gentlemen." Billy says, "I hate the prime hype, but his son is the real deal at QB." Odysseus says they barely beat CSU. Still went up 3 spots, though. Of course, it's the media darling, Colorado. Odysseus says AP voters are morons. FSU went up 2, as did Texas, of course. Billy says JJ threw 3 picks against the vaunted Falcon defense. Told you guys, Falcons in the cover. I won money. I don't know if anybody else did, but I definitely took that 40. Low riding and tossing up a 40. Odysseus says, and yet team up north didn't drop in rankings. Yeah, that's why polls mean nothing. Good to see you, Tyrone. Billy says, yeah, the media is in love with Michigan. Steven, yes, sir. Billy says the t-shirt contest is rigged. Tyrone says, is Shawn okay with our quarterback situation now? That's a direct question to you, Shawn.
Yeah, because it is what it is. So and again, from the little that I've seen, from Devin, yeah, I'm 100% with the quarterback situation. I think we're at where we're at. The play's gotten better, and so yeah, I'm in. Nice job.
Odysseus says Bucks surpassed my hopeful score prediction. Temper says the Bucks exceeded all expectations. Wow, this is like night and day from the gloom and doom I saw a week ago. It's hilarious. Billy says South Bend will be a challenge. Notre Dame is going to be super pumped for the game. I have to silence the crowd early. Yep. Tyrone says offense B+ for me. Okay. B+, huh? Steven says Burke is the alpha on D. Odysseus says Simmons concerns me most next week. He concerns me the most every week, pal. Tyrone says going to be a lot of red at that Notre Dame stadium. Yeah. They're known to have their stadium overtaken by Nebraska fans, Georgia fans. So it won't be anything new there. I hope that Columbus will travel in. Tipper says it's good to head to South Bend on a high note. I agree. Stephen Cherry, second team defense ends look better than our starters. Oh, okay. Billy, yes, will our first team DNs get a sack this week? I have to think so.
I mean, they better. This is showtime. This is go time. And that might be a bit much, but the Kenyatta and these other second stringers, they're going hard, making some plays.
Yeah. I didn't look up the average drop back time for Sam Hartman. He is at, oh, that's not the right guy. That's a backup. Ooh. Could it be? Hold on, still looking. Here we go. Sam Hartman, 3.14 seconds. That's just what the doctor ordered. We go from a 2.2 a couple weeks in a row to a 3.14 drop back. Oh, yes. Fuck yes. Anyway, back to the chat. I should have looked that up earlier. Anyways, Tipper says points off turnovers won me over. Yeah, got that.
Doesn't that make you think that they're pass protection's pretty good though. If he's holding it for 3.1, he's only been sacked 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
They must have some pretty good pass pro.
Against Navy, yeah. And Tennessee State and Central Michigan.
Yep.
Yeah, get comfortable back there. I dare you, Hartman. Get comfy. Pull up a fucking recliner. Kick your feet up. Billy said, Odysseus. I got you. You see, me and Odysseus were always right on that average passing time. He asked that question like fucking 35 minutes ago. Billy says, give Hartman time, he can carve you up. Exactly. Odysseus says we held WKU under 300 total yards. Yep. Billy says Sam Hartman might be older than Reed. He is. Odysseus says he is 24. Not older than Andy Reid, but maybe more mobile. Steven says, Sawyer defensive MVP. How much bourbon have you had, Joe? Look at the fucking stats. Sawyer was in the backfield. He led the team in pressures. I also felt kind of bad because I had banged on him pretty hard last week. Check out the video breakdown. Odysseus, I give Tyleik Williams defensive MVP. Legit. He had a sack and the fumble he recovered. Temper says not yet, Steven. Steven says Tyleik or Burke. Okay. Odysseus says it, a Mecca for MVP. Billy says still Chambers is balling out. He is. Temper says Burke or Eichenberg. Billy says, who has better starting linebackers than us? Henry, you got anybody there?
There ain't no better starting linebackers than us. I mean, I haven't watched, I can't say I've watched a ton of other teams, but I've never even heard rumors of someone with better linebackers than us. Who's out there? Like who?
Maybe Clemson. They got that Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
Well, I watched one of their games. Yeah, he's good.
But I was not impressed with Georgia's defense this weekend. That's for sure.
I just think we got 2 guys. We got 2 guys that can come in that are really good too. I mean, so I love our linebacker room.
Yeah, I think both of our linebackers should be All-Americans. No doubt about it. Steven says Tate had a nice...
Michigan thinks they got the great linebackers, I'm sure.
Do they? Okay. I haven't heard a word about them. Stephen Cherry says that Tate had a nice game and heady play on the fumble recovery. Yep. I gave him my Hustler Award of the week. And Odysseus says Knowles is definitely an upgrade at linebacker development over Davis of Washington. Yeah, well, especially Davis. Billy says newsflash, OSU receiver room is looking good for a while. Yep. Temper says, yeah, he's dead. Who's dead? Somebody died? I don't know what that means. Todd Doyle, what's up, Todd? He says, I think the defense will win this one 20-14. OSU over Notre Dame with a pick 6 by the defense. Todd Doyle entering the first score prediction in the t-shirt giveaway contest. Steven pointing out the obvious that Laurinaitis has helped with linebacker development. Billy says we should be able to score more than 2 TDs on offense. Todd. Temper, even our high school commits are balling out. Well, yeah, because they're high end. Oh, somebody says COVID sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. What year is this? I feel like I just had a flashback.
Shut it down.
Yeah. Temper says they're being held back. I don't know. Steven says Hartman hasn't really been pressured. I would assume that, judging from the opponents. Billy says, hopefully the era of the 6-year senior is coming to an end. Yes. I will say something. these 6-year quarterbacks, it has to tell you something, right? That he's still in college after 6 years and not in the NFL. That does register with everyone, right? Just want to make sure.
Well, I mean, it does and it doesn't. I mean, but the dude put up stud numbers. Possibly could have went. I'm sure could have got invited to the combine with these numbers. But now you go here and you put up a year at Notre Dame. Wake doesn't really count. You go do this at Notre Dame, but he's probably not an NFL guy. He's probably a Stetson Bennett, or I don't know. But he ain't bad. Look at the dude's numbers are sick though. I mean,
Yeah, we'll see. Billy says, have we done any safety / corner blitzes in the first 3 games? I can't even say it. No, we haven't. I don't think. I did see Sonny Styles in there a week ago, I think. Odysseus follows up. Odysseus reads my mind again. Sent Sonny versus YSU and JT and Jack dropping in coverage. Temper, you play the freshmen. They got skills. Can't play all the freshmen. Let's not go crazy here. There's a reason why the veterans play is because they know what to do. And they've proven that. Billy, with the physicality of our back end, we should be sending them from time to time. Maybe Knowles has been keeping in his pocket. Well, zero blitz, in case you didn't notice, Billy, has been a bit of a weak point for the Buckeyes. Shawn, do you remember throwing a zero blitz from time to time last year, maybe late in the season?
I feel like every time we do, it's a giant play.
Against us.
Yeah.
So, Odysseus is kind of in a middle ground here. He says, if we're going to blitz, I'd like to. You ever had a good blitz? A cheesy pastry. Anyway, I'd like to send 5 more than a cover 0. Exactly. Burke says he likes to hit people. Yep. Malik 2, Proctor 2. Billy says, if we can get consistent D-line pressure and get home a few times, don't see how we lose this game. My thoughts exactly, Billy. Odysseus says Armstrong INTs helped Notre Dame with short fields. Okay. CMU is terrible. Tucker's guys took it to them. Okay. Billy says Hartman can be rattled even at his advanced age of 24.
Tiger ball him out, get loosened up.
Yeah. A lot of Notre Dame. We're pretty bad at third down. Yes, I know. Pass pro issues up the gut. Yep. Pretty, let's see. Corners are good. Safeties are suspect, says Odysseus. Temper says, answer my question. Where did you get your stats, Phil Steele? Yes. Tyrone says, hopefully Laurinaitis and Lorenzo Styles can help us with some of that Notre Dame playbook. Well, Tommy Reese is no longer there. So he's at Notre Dame or at Alabama now, struggling there. Maybe just coincidence. I don't know. Temper says we're deep. Hicks, Melton, Chambers, backup. He's good too. Maybe Melton should be in there more. He did look pretty fast. What did you think of Mitchell Melton, Henry, late in the game? Getting a sack.
Oh yeah, he did get that late sack. One of our 2?
Yeah. But that's from a DN. He has the first defensive end sack of the year.
That's the first?
Yeah, from a DN.
They've got some TFLs, but no sacks. Not one?
Right.
From Caden Curry, Kenyatta, Jack, or TJ? 0.
I don't think Kenyatta has one. I know Caden Curry doesn't. Where's my fucking stats? God damn it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure no D end, even backups, have a sack. I'm sure the chat will correct me if I'm wrong. Tyrone said, Billy says we need reset edge after this year. Probably Richard, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure he's ready. He's only 6'3", Billy.
Who?
Arvell Reese from Glenville.
Oh.
What do you think about a 6'3" edge rusher, Shawn? A little short? Or am I crazy?
Maybe a little short, but not if you're that dude, you're not. It can work. Is it the typical? No, but Aaron Donald's not your typical size dude. There's see if he can do it, he can do it. It's going to be tougher for him at that size. What 6'3"? What's his weight?
Who's?
The DN? Yeah, the guy you
Arvell
were talking
Reese.
about.
Oh, Arvell Reese.
6'3".
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. I would guess 240.
I mean, probably slide his ass over there to the tight end room like we do with all those guys.
There you go. They got him at 235, 6'3", 235. So whatever.
He'll need to get up to 270. I mean, what's Sawyer playing at?
Good question. I think he's still around 250, 260.
What's JT playing at? 275, 280?
270. Shit. I got Jack at 265. 6'4", 265. That's got to be like max, right, for a D end. Unless you're taller, like maximum weight.
No, I think you get guys up there. $280.
Oh,
Can't you? What are the Boses? I don't know where the Boses go. 275, 265, 270. Hey, you might be right.
Nick Bosa, 266. 6'4",
Right now?
266. Yeah. I mean, Chase Young was like, what, 250, 260, somewhere in that ballpark when he was at Ohio State. So, again, I think 6'3" is getting a little short because you got to have that bend, long arms, long body. You can't be,
Can't get all hung up on the length. Sometimes it's the strength.
Okay. Well, you do have to have the bend. I don't have a good word for bend other than bend. But Tyrone says, hopefully you see Caden Curry more. My calls, my pick to have a great game against Notre Dame. Odysseus says, Chip and Trey need to exploit that. And Mayan if he's healthy. Yep. Tyrone says a great running game will be huge. Odysseus, yeah, I thought he held it longer. Yep, you're right. That's what she said. Odysseus says all 4 versus NC State, though. All 4 sacks? Okay.
Oh,
Good.
were they really?
Steven says we need Penn State JTT to show up in South Bend. Yeah, that'd be nice. Odysseus says he's got 29-16. That's really a random score, just like in 1996. Oh, Odysseus was referring to the COVID redshirt year, not the disease, the year, the 6th year. Billy says, I've heard guys referring to as 7th year seniors. Can't understand that. Yeah, maybe with a medical on top of that. Odysseus says, isn't Notre Dame OC a Tommy Rees assistant? I don't know, would make sense. Canoe and Abor look promising. Yeah. Timber says, hey, they said Aaron Donald is too short for tackle. Yeah, I know. Odysseus says Chase Young wrecked the Broncos today. That's good. I'm glad to see him back on the field. Steven says Xavier will be a difference maker once again in South Bend. Buckeyes 40-27 over the Irish. Get some good score predictions coming in already, Shawn.
Nice. There should be positivity.
That's right. It's a circle, like a merry-go-round. Goes around, up and down. Anyway, so I guess we better give our score predictions here and our microscopes. How are you feeling about the score predictions? Oh, probably would help if I had the fucking odds in front of me. I got Ohio State -3, over under of 54.
Road favorite?
That's right.
Always scary to be a road favorite. Home dog. Notre Dame's the home dog.
Yeah, but like we talked about earlier, we've seen, opposing teams come in and own that stadium, turn it red.
And what do they got for an over under? What do they think's gonna happen here?
54.
54. So we've got to score 27.
Last year, the score was a low-scoring affair. As I
lower.
feverishly.
We opened up. Didn't we open up with that one though?
Yeah, that was week 1. We won 21-10. Shut them out in the second half. We beat them 14-0 in the second half.
Well, I think you're looking at kind of the same. We got our guy McCord going into again. First hostile game, big time. We haven't looked great. Just keep the momentum going. Stay on track here. That O-line, Simmons, who's ever get your shit together. This is big time. We're gonna see them play next Saturday, and I kind of feel it's going to be the same. But Freeman's going to have his boys ready to play. I think he's a little pissed off. Styles left, and Leonidas, and I think he's got a little grudge. I think this is a huge game for him. I think he takes this one a little more personally, probably than any other one on his schedule. So be ready for a tough game. I think in the end it won't get them. And I got Buckeyes covering and the under 31-17.
He just he stole my fucking score. I just wrote that down. I wrote that down before you started your little spiel there. So I'm going to have to tweak that.
Talked you into it.
No, I
got it written down here too. It's like, that's like osmosis. My explanation, put that into your head.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Osmosis.
But I mean, of course you got something like that. That's obviously a quinky dink, but that seems logical, right? We go in there, struggle a little bit, but they can't get much done either. I think they've upgraded their team from last year, so I'm giving Hartman an extra touchdown, and
I'm going 30-13. 30-13. I'll tweak mine just a bit. I think this Buckeye defense is peaking. I think they've got all the pieces in the right order. If we can avoid a couple big plays here or there, the big 75-yard touchdown pass or something like that, then I think we can hold these guys down, hold them from those long, sustained drives, 10, 12 plays or whatever. So going Buckeyes roll, Kyle McCord, cool as a cucumber. I hate cucumbers, make me burp. But anyway, so I missed tzatziki sauce on a good gyro. Can't have it. The cucumbers make me burp. Anyway, Kyle McCord and all the weapons, whether it's a running game, maybe more of a controlled passing game, maybe the occasional deep shot to Marv, Emeka, whatever. And I think the Buckeyes roll 30-13. And that over-under is a little aggressive for me at 54, especially with these clock rules. You're going to see Notre Dame sit on that clock like they have and try and keep it close. All right, let's talk microscopes. Henry, what do you got on the offense?
I think the only thing that makes sense, Kyle McCord.
Right.
It's it's the Kyle McCord. Hey, here's your time, kid. This is what we all needed you to get to. You won the job, and here you are. So now it's put up time, and he can do it. It's all mental. You got it, kid. Just stop thinking and just do what they taught you. I expect he'll have some mistakes early and overcome them.
Okay. That sounds good. I'm going Travion on offense. I think Trey, heavy dose of this run game. I know he's not going to be the only running back getting the ball. Him and Chip seem to be our, running back 1 and 2 right now. Mayan kind of third. Not sure why Dallin didn't get any carries yesterday, but we'll see what's happening there. But I think Trey is my guy. I think you get him in some space on those swing passes, screen passes, and even please do not run that toss into the boundary, for fuck's sake. It's bad enough you run the stretch play, but then the toss into the boundary, what are you trying to do? Jesus. Run to open pastures, my man. So anyways, not Trey's fault, I know. So I'm going Trey on offense. What do you got on defense, Shawn?
On defense, to me, that we've got to control this game. Can't let them have those sustained drives. That running back, whatever his name is, we'll find out on Saturday. Estime or Esteem or Espartame. I don't know. But we're going to need to keep him in check. So let's go with Tommy, best middle linebacker in the country, Eichenberg.
Dude, you fucking took my pick again. All right.
You're getting smarter. You must be learning something.
Yeah. Let's see. They're going to try and throw to tight ends. Receivers aren't a big threat. Running game, they're probably going to try and run the ball. Weak side. Oh, here we go. I'm taking Jeff's pick that he would have taken if he were on the show tonight. Sonny Styles. This is a Sonny Styles made for TV game. Sonny is playing basically a Sam linebacker out there right by the line of scrimmage. Sonny will be, he wasn't used a lot this past weekend because they had multiple wideouts we had to cover, brought in Hancock to cover that slot. So this is a Sonny Styles ball game. I'm going Sonny Styles on defense. Easy one.
Nice. Love to see it.
Yeah. So
we didn't see much of him, but it's weird that, the guys that we can just pull out and then we plug in a stud to play this specific defense. And then, hey, exactly, it's a different team. Okay, plug in a stud to play this.
Yeah, it's matchup specific.
Nice.
Yeah. Any other games you want to touch on? How about Georgia getting by South Carolina? Bama getting by USF right over here across the bridge. Florida upsetting Tennessee in the swamp.
Florida State about getting beat.
Right. And that Colorado game was a little tight.
Yeah, for sure.
But went to overtime. Yeah, those are the ones that stood out to me. I don't have a strong take on many of them, obviously.
Yeah, no, same old, other than, to see the rankings and see Florida State and these guys move up. And again, like you said, these rankings don't mean shit right now. Just keep winning and doing our thing. That'll all work itself out. If Florida State will lose a game if they can't hardly get by BC.
Right. Yeah, that was a tight one. I was surprised at that. I flipped it over, I think, when I saw it. It was a 2-point game. And I was like, this is over.
But I did not get to watch or even think about looking at anything on the Michigan game. But it's just coming to my attention that JJ threw 3 picks.
Right.
So, man, I wonder, I'd kind of like to see those really bad decisions off receivers' hands. Sometimes I can show a little grace, circumstantial. But that's a good sign for us if he's back up to he hasn't fixed. I thought he was over it because he was throwing like out of this world accuracy wise. Right. But okay, he might still be prone to poor mistakes. And who'd they play?
BG.
Oh, BG. That's right.
Yeah. 40.5-point favorites. It doesn't really tell me here in the play-by-play, but they intercepted. The first interception of Michigan was in the end zone. They were down at the BG 5, and they threw a pick into the end zone for a touchback. Then the other one was at the BG 38, and they threw one late here at the BG 35. So still throwing the ball up 31-6 late in the game. Yeah. And that's that. What else? Texas recovering a little bit. Took a little while to get past Wyoming.
Washington destroys Sparty.
Yeah, I saw that. Took Washington that game. South Carolina, Georgia. I watched that game, and I hate Spencer Rattler like with a passion. I think he's a terrible teammate, terrible guy, terrible person. I don't know how he's a captain, just because he's a quarterback or something. But his receivers make him look so freaking good, man. These guys are laying out. These guys are giving like max effort, jumping over DBs, making catches, falling on their backs. Like that number 11 Leggett, that guy was just making. I don't understand Spencer Rattler. I don't think he's going to play in the NFL. I don't think so. I don't think he's good. He's a good quarterback.
Baker Mayfield is starting there just across the bridge from you.
Yeah.
If Baker can, why can't Spencer?
That
Exactly.
Lincoln Riley can make some Heisman Trophy quarterbacks, but he can't really make NFL level quarterbacks, can he? Baker Mayfield barely hanging on. Kyler Murray barely hanging on. Sounds like that the Cardinals don't even want him around.
Hurts is doing pretty good.
Right. Yeah. Didn't he go to Bama? Am I thinking of? Did he play Bama?
He did, but then he transferred. Tua got the job, and he went to Oklahoma.
Right. Yeah. All right. Let's check the chat here, see what's happening. We got some guys in here. Tipper says, I meant Larry Flint was dead. Yeah, I'm not surprised. He lived life on the edge, didn't he? Odysseus says, would be hilarious if there's a sea of scarlet. Odysseus says, if we win, where are the 3 losses coming from? I think he's asking you, Shawn.
Well, I've already said, just based on before this, I don't think that's hardly really in the realm. It could be 10-2. If you win this game, if you lose this game, it might still be on trajectory for 10-2, but that's how you lose it all that.
Yeah.
But you know that you definitely know who the fucking 2 losses are that are potentials.
Right.
This is heading up for some good football in the Big Ten coming up this fall. Big time.
Big time. Yeah, Odysseus says swing passes to Trey. He's too fast in space for them. Odysseus says Esteem isn't a burner. Need to wrap him up though. Yep. Ewers and Aller look pedestrian. Okay. I got to go back and watch those games, the condensed versions. Temper says Washington looks good. Yeah, I agree. Penix is a probable Heisman frontrunner.
I feel so bad for the Pack. You know, everyone's tearing their league apart and it's gone, and they're balling out. They're all balling out.
Yeah. Hey, folks, before we go, please hit the like button. Yep, sorry. Go ahead.
No, they're playing the best Pack football in 20 years.
Exactly. Yeah, the Pack is loaded, like loaded. They're probably going to get an actual playoff team in this year. So Odysseus says JJ McPicks. He almost beat us 3 years ago. Odysseus says one was really bad. Odysseus says he threw it right to the BG corner. Hummus Hero says JJ McCarthy. Hummus Hero says Esteem looks like the second coming of Jerome Bettis. At least that's what ND fans are saying. Okay. Well, if Notre Dame fans are saying it, then it must be true. Bettis's kid, I heard, is playing. He's a high schooler. He's kind of a high level wide receiver recruit, I think.
Who's that?
Buckeyes are trying to get on. Jerome Bettis's kid. I don't know.
Where's he go to school?
I'm not sure what year he is.
Is he up around? I mean, Bettis is originally from Detroit, I think.
Mm-hmm. Jerome Bettis Jr. Shocking. That's his name. He is from Woodward Academy in Atlanta, GA. 3-star 2025 wide receiver, 6'2", 175. Nationally ranked number 421. All right. I think we've done enough damage for one night, haven't we?
I think so. You got those scores. Bet them early, bet them often.
That's right.
No, this is not financial advice.
That's right. You got the disclaimer. You have to say it really fast.
Not financial advice.
Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Odysseus says Notre Dame fans thought Ron Paulus was the next Joe Montana too. Yeah.
We're going to get their best.
Exactly. Temper says I'll be 70 when Chris Henry Jr. gets here. Oh, great. All right. All right, Henry. Appreciate you. Thanks for filling in. Everybody, please hit that like button before you leave. pick up your keys and your shoes and hit the like button. Henry, appreciate
All right,
you.
big week, everybody.
Yep.
All right, let's go.
Big game. Yep. All right. We'll talk to you later.
All right, man. See you next week.
Go Bucks.